Here we go. Yeah, it happens, right? It happens. Hi, me on the something. Me on Twitch. Cool, man. Welcome to Twitch. Again, if you guys haven't followed yet, just give me a follow. You know, really appreciate it. Love you guys. You guys have been really, really great. First have to go find the dog. I have no idea where the dog is, the Yellow Dragoon. I have no idea where the dog is. He's out partying, man. While I don't party, he parties. Jason, you're teaching exactly like Cup of Blood Co. Why? You mean the end game stuff? Okay, so here we have a lovely example of just showing you a little bit more about weak squares. Okay, it's a bit of a complicated lesson, this one. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Okay, but it is obviously for the little bit more stronger players as well, but I will try and keep it PG-13, right? Would you like to play a game maybe later? Yeah, I am going to. Me on Twitch, I will be playing against the viewers in about an hour's time. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this middle game position until we're done with it for about an hour or so. And then I will be playing against viewers. Okay, we'll be playing 5-minute casual games and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. So let's just get through the opening. Okay, so d4. I'll try and be a little bit explanatory on everything that we do. Okay, yeah, we're gonna keep it PG-13 for you guys. So of course d4, it just takes a pawn in the center and controls e5. Okay, nothing too crazy to talk about there. Okay, now, sorry, g6 gets played. We have this typical hyper modern style right now. Okay, and c4 gets played. So g6 is, the ideas behind it is that black just wants to castle quickly and then deal with the center when he is good and ready with his king is already safe. Okay, it's a very modern type of way to play the game nowadays, to play g6 and bishop here and knight here and castle before you even commit any of your pawns in the center. Okay. Well, everybody here seems to be at least 13 years old, so PG-13 should be fine. Okay, so bishop g7 happens, knight goes to f3, of course, just defending the pawn and keeping more control over the square on e5. Plays c5. Okay. Thanks for the follow, me on Twitch. So now he's putting pressure on this pawn. Okay, you can see that we have pressure on this pawn here. Okay, white decides to push past already. Okay, so he just plays d5 and now he says, okay, you have this great looking bishop, fine. And but he has the pawns now on white squares, okay, and he has a bit more space, okay, because his pawn is forward in the center. He has more space on the board. Okay, he has a lot more squares in his camp that he can move his pieces to. Like, let's say if we put a pawn here, you put a knight here, you know, you're struggling to find places for your pieces as black, where white has many more squares in his camp where he can put his pieces due to the fact that he has more space. Okay. So black plays here, d6, just cements the pawns in position. e4 gets played, and now you can see we have this nice pawn formation here. Okay, e6, he tries to break open the pawns already. Okay, so he hasn't finished his development, but he starts putting pressure on the pawn center already. Okay, so he's just attacking the pawn, but of course there's two pawns defending, so white doesn't need to do anything about it. So white will just continue on to develop, okay? Get his king to safety as well. So bishop e2 gets played. Now, one interesting thing for you guys to note as well, just in the back of your head, or if you want to make a note about this, okay? If somebody plays g6, it's rarely good to put the bishop on d3, because the bishop doesn't do anything on this diagonal. So you'll always find that the bishop goes to e2 in these situations against g6. Okay. Also, if you have a pawn structure like this, the bishop will just be stuck behind the pawns anyway. So if the bishop's going to find himself a future, he's going to go to this square to get to g4 or to f3 maybe, or something like that. Okay, so that's why the bishop goes to e2 and not d3. You mean Benoni? Yes, it's the Benoni, yeah. Okay. Black develops his knight. Obviously, he wants to castle. White now finally puts his knight on c3. Note that white didn't want to put the knight on c3 because of bishop takes c3. Okay? It doesn't look so great, but it can be quite annoying for white to have to deal with the double pawn weaknesses. Okay, so a lot of the time, white, even though it seems weird that black would give up that bishop, it seems that white has to be careful as well. So, but now the knight obviously is blocking the bishop, so you can play knight c3. Okay? He takes the pawn, and white takes with this pawn. Binono. It's not the binoni, it's binono. That sounds about right, Dre. Sounds about right, my friend. Badoni, for obvious reasons. The Badoni. It's the Badoni monster. I do declare. Charles, I do declare this is the Badoni. Yes, I don't know how it happened, but it's the Badoni. Okay, so just out of interest here, he takes with this pawn. Okay, and now we already have this big difference in the position. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns on this side, whereas black only has 4. Okay, in return, black gets a semi-open file where he can put pressure on e4. The baloney, I like that one even better. Yeah. Okay, white on the other side of the board, white has 2 pawns here and black has 2 here. So black will want to play on the queen side here. Okay. It becomes a very interesting position here. Somebody said, Turkey says, it's obviously baloney. It's turkey baloney, right? Yeah, d6 could be weak, but it's not always so easy to attack the d6 pawn as well. David, it's not always that easy to attack the pawn as well. Okay. Just out of interest. Now, of course, if you take with this pawn, by the way, then the position becomes very, very symmetrical. Okay, then we have the same pawns on this board here, and you know, it's hard to play a game like this if you then have to win. Okay, so white takes with the c pawn to make it interesting. Okay, game continues castling, and white plays knight d2. Now, I really, really like this. Yeah, of course I know who Day9 is. Yeah, Day9 has his own voice box for that you can use for your, you know, your game where it announces all your stuff, like, oh, you need more pylons, or you need more minerals, or you need more gas, or whatever. Day9 has his own voice that you can use to do that as well. Yeah, so David Saunders, you're right. E5 breaks are very interesting for white as well. But this move is where things get very interesting for me. Okay? Knight d2 gets played for multiple reasons. Okay, first of all, the knight defends the e-pawn. Second of all, the knight wants to go to c4, which is a very pretty idea. Okay, because then you can put pressure on this pawn, right? And the bishop goes here, and we start putting pressure on this pawn. Okay? Now, so the knight literally just reroutes itself, and in a lot of cases the knight from c4 can also go here and here if it's possible as well. Okay, very, very interesting situation here. The knight could also do this and this and this as well to get to f5. I want you to remember this idea of getting to f5 because it's actually relevant for the game. Most of the time it's not, but in this game black thought he was clever. Okay, but in the end, he just got himself destroyed. So knight d2 is a very interesting move to reroute the knight to a different square, either here or here. Okay. So black continues with knight d7. White obviously finished castling, and black plays rook here. Now, of course, we have 2 defenders, 2 attackers. So we're still okay here. Okay. But, of course, black can add more attackers, so we have to be a bit careful here for white. So white plays rook e1. Okay? He's ready to obviously just develop, or to, move the bishop out of the way, and then of course be ready to defend the pawn as well. Yes, Mar, that is exactly correct. Yeah, so the knight reroutes itself a little bit here to play on the other side of the board. Now, an interesting thing for you, Mar, to note here as well, okay? I always try and point out to you that when we have pawn structures in the center, what you want to look at is you want to see which side of the board you want to play, right? You want to play either king side or queen side or center. Now here the center is a little bit locked up, okay? But if we look at the white central pawns, they're pointing in this direction. Okay? Look at them. They're literally lined up in that direction. Okay. So it looks like white could want to play on that side. But the other thing that we also need to note here for white is that white also still has the 5 versus 4 majority on this side of the board. Okay. So that means that white could also definitely want to play on the king side. So white's game is very versatile. Where black, on the other hand, his pawns in the center are pointing this way. And he has the pawn majority on this side as well. So he will definitely want to play on the queen side. So black's idea is simple. He wants to play on the queen side. He wants to play a6, b5, and attack on the queen side. Okay? And b5, b4, of course, also attacks this knight, which should be protecting the pawn on e4. This is why rook e1 gets played already. He's anticipating any problems where he might need to move a knight. Then he's already defending the pawn as well. Okay. So white's playing very prophylactic chess. If you haven't heard this word yet, Google it. Prophylaxis. He is preventing things, or he's predicting that things are going to happen. So he's making moves to be ready for it already. Dark Zero, hi buddy. If you haven't followed the channel yet, please do. Really, really do appreciate it. Okay, so knight goes into e5. And he plays h3. Okay. Yeah, the Yellow Dragoon, it's a big game. It's a big game, yeah. Okay, so the pawn gets played here, by the way, so that he can play f4 and not have to worry about this. So I'll show you an example. If you play f4 immediately, then after knight here, there is a bit of a problem here that you might have to deal with. This could be a little annoying. Okay. Is it lagging? Yeah, it is lagging, isn't it? Apologies, it should fix itself just now. Okay. So he plays h3 first in order to prevent the knight from coming to g4 and then attacking the e3 square. Okay, now he's threatening to play f4. Okay? Because then he can play e5. And he can smash through here in the center, right? It's beautiful. So black thinks he's clever. Okay, black thinks g5. He's going to prevent you from playing this move, okay? Because now you can't play g3, because of course the pawn on g2 is protecting the h3 pawn. So he plays g5 in an attempt to prevent f4 from happening. Because of course the idea is for black here, if he can slow you down on the king side where you're obviously trying to play as white, then he can continue his attacking. I hope the stream didn't stop. Is everything okay, guys? Let me know. Yeah, maybe just... Oh, it's probably you because you're downloading StarCraft, you chop. Okay, so g5 gets played to blockade the attack on the king side so that black can continue on his raid on the queen side. Okay, so this is why g5 gets played. He wants to prevent f4 from happening. But it has its bad things as well. What is the consequence of g5? Can anyone tell me what is the consequence of the move g5? Where is there now a very weak square in black's camp? Let's see how sharp you guys are. Where is the big fat weakness now? Let's see if someone can find the weak square. And this is what the whole game revolves around after this. Is the weak square that black just created by playing g5. Yeah, of course, the Yellow Dragoon. That's logical. That's exactly what's going to happen. And those downloads, by the way, like game downloads, they take priority, so they take up everything. Aha! Me on Twitch, Saeed. You lose both F5. There we go. Oh, you guys. Love it. Okay, perfect. F5 is an exceptionally bad square now. Okay. So, if we can get a knight to F5 and keep a knight on that square, it's going to look fantastic. Okay. So, here's what goes. So, white plays nice and natural chess now, okay? He plays knight F1. Okay, the knight's already ready to reroute, right? Okay. And of course, the bishop is attacking the pawn. So double move here, okay? He gets a tempo basically. Because now black has to defend the pawn, right? So now he plays h6, of course, okay? And the knight goes to g3. Perfect. So now the knight is obviously attacking both these weak squares. You like this one, Hidden? This one I'm going to use only for middle game stuff, Hidden. So I use the green one for endgame. I like using color coding, Hidden, because of course, you know, then you know, and you'll see even in the schedule page as well. If I do tactics, it's red. If I do middle games, it's yellow. If I do end games, it's green. If we do broadcasts, we do either silver or blue. And if I do playing, I use silver as well. So, you know, I use the different colors to color code so that people know, oh, wait, it's green. So we're obviously doing end games. You know what I mean? So eventually, hopefully, people will understand that. Exactly. Thank you, White Dancing. Exactly. It looks like black's whole king side just suddenly looks very, very bad, right? Because of the squares that are now available. But he does still have a white squared bishop. So it's not that easy to actually take control of the f5 square. Okay. I want you guys to remember that. It's not that easy to play the game. White plays a beautiful game of chess from here on in to exploit that f5 square. Okay. No, f4 is a bit too risky. Because then it becomes very double-edged. You have to be careful with moves like f4. Because then the game becomes very double-edged, I think. You know what I mean? Okay, but first of all, it's black to play. So black plays a6. Okay. Nah, Hidden, you know, I don't mind using the different colors as well. Sebo, thanks for the follow, Sebo. So yes. Rayless, exactly. This is why you can't play knight f5 yet, right? So we can't play knight f5 yet. We can't do it yet. Okay, we can't do it yet. But white's going to slowly build up a way to get rid of the bishop on c8, when then knight f5 is obviously suddenly very, very weak. Okay. Now, I wanted to point out to you, David Saunders wants to play f4. It's very, very tricky if you want to play f4. Flaming Dragon. Is it a Flaming Dragon? Hi, buddy. Welcome to the show. K Franca. Thanks for the follow, K Franca. Flaming Dragon, if you haven't hit that follow button yet, please do. You know, I'm going for a record follower smacking session here, right? Like 8 hours of streaming and like 100 followers. Yes, we want a piece. Yes, Rayulis, exactly. It's very tricky, right? But we want to have the knight on f5 where nothing can take it. We don't want it to be able to get taken because the knight's going to be beautiful on that square. Okay. Now, David Saunders pointed out maybe f4. But it gets a little messy because now, let's say I take here. You take. I go here. And now what now? Now things are getting complicated here. Because now, you know, you have to defend stuff. And I think it might be a bit tricky to play like this as well. So, because now let's say we go back. I don't even know where. Let's say we go here, then b5. And now suddenly you have to deal with these problems. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit tricky to play f4. f4 is probably a bit risky here because your e-pawn is exceptionally weak. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we go back and I'll show you how white plays this. Okay, white plays a4, of course, to prevent b5, naturally. Okay, so now, of course, you can't play b5, right? It's a simple idea to stop b5 from happening. Okay, that's it. That's the reason why a4 gets played. Black continues. He plays knight to g5, g6 I mean. Now of course you can't play f4 anymore, so black now completely focuses on keeping control over that. Okay. Yes, Turkey Farm, you're completely right. Hey, thank you, Flaming Dragon. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Glad you figured out the whole Twitch thing. Twitch is great, by the way. You know, for any of you guys, if you're watching from the Lead Chess website, you know, you can click on the text at the bottom of the video that says follow Chess Doctors on Twitch. That'll take you to Twitch. If you don't have a Twitch account, just create one quickly. It just takes an email and a password. And then you will be unlocked to all the greatness that is Twitch. Okay, so now, of course, f4 is taboo, right? So watch how he continues. So he plays his bishop to e3. Nice and simple, cool, calm, and collected, right? Bishop just going to the best square it possibly has right now. Okay, we still have two defenders versus the two attackers. So no stress there. Okay? Rook goes to b8. Reintroducing the idea of playing b5. Why? Because there is pressure on e4. So your knight becomes overloaded defending both the square and the pawn. So like, let's say we just move something random for white, right? You can play here. Oh, maybe we can't play it immediately. maybe we can't do it straight away. Maybe not. So, okay, but you'll just probably just play here anyway and then play it, right? Okay. So let's see what happens. So rook b8. And he plays queen d2. Okay, so we still have enough defenders here. Okay, there's too many defenders and only two defenders. Too many attackers, only two defenders. Okay, so it's still perfectly fine for white. And now bishop d7 gets played. So here we are at a crossroads. So now we realize that, of course, he's threatened to play b5. How do we stop b5? Can anyone tell me how do we stop b5 from happening? How are we going to prevent that from getting played? What are we going to do, boys and girls? What are we going to do? Little evil laugh in there. Just throwing it in there. What's the stats currently look like? Can somebody type exclamation mark stats for me in the chat, please? Suddenly it's very quiet and makes me scared. Okay, there we go. Dark Zero says, oh, duh. We just play a5. Good. Saeed TZ. Excellent, boys and girls. Excellent. Hey, you guys are awesome. Okay, a5. Excellent. Why? Because now you can't play b5 anymore. Excellent, boys. Excellent. So yes, a5 is a typical move here to prevent b5 from ever happening. Okay. Thanks, Dark Zero. Now everybody types stats, right? Like, whoa. Okay. Harry Crush throwing in it. Everybody throwing in stats. Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. Okay, now black plays queen e7, putting more pressure on this pawn, right? So now we have three attackers, but of course the defenders are smaller than the attackers, so we don't have to do anything about it. Yes, because of en passant, Mar. Exactly. You are completely correct. If you try and play b5, then I just en passant you. And then it looks a little bit weird. I mean, this pawn is very weak as well. Sorry, wrong one. This pawn is very weak as well. So you just lose a pawn in the end. Okay. So let's say even queen takes here, takes, queen takes here, takes, rook takes, and then even possibly take here. So it gets very, very complicated. You know what I mean? So now you just lose a pawn. The c5 pawn is hanging as well. It looks terrible for white. Okay, so yes, he technically can. But because of the a6 pawn weakness, it's not a good idea right now. Okay, so he plays queen e7. Now, I dare someone to find the move for white here. This is the perfect move for this position. Remember, our target is to get a knight to f5. But this bishop is being an annoying son of a gun. How can we get rid of the bishop? Now, by saying that, obviously, it makes the maneuver a little bit easier. Well, let's see if you guys can find the answer. White to play with the objective of getting rid of the bishop on d7. It's beautiful. It's absolutely fantastic. It's possible, Sayed, but it would also take him much longer, right? That would have taken him longer as well. Knight a4, knight b6. But knight a4, I just take it. Okay, maybe it's not so bad, I guess, right? That's quite possible. You're right. That is quite possible. What if I... let me see. Bishop g4 runs into knight takes g4. Knight a4, knight b6 is not a bad idea, but remember you can't move your knight because the pawn hangs on e4. Okay? Yeah, white dancing, I have no idea what the hell is wrong with automod sometimes. Okay. Yeah, automod is a bit weird. Knight a4 is not a good idea because the knight has to protect the pawn on e4. So you can't move knight a4. Okay. Knight a4 is not what is going to work. Okay. So knight a4, no. Bishop g4, no, because he just takes the bishop with his knight. So that's not going to work. It's not very good. So now you guys have to be a little bit more creative, right? Yeah, but okay. If you play like, let's say knight a4, I take, I take, you go here. You don't have a knight that can go to f5 anymore, so done. It's done. You see what I mean? So it just suddenly, it's just gone. I don't think you have that much compensation, by the way, because look at this bishop as well. You know what I mean? Like it's too strong. Black is definitely doing very well here. So be a little bit careful. yeah, okay. So obviously it's not hanging, but you know what I'm saying. You just lose the pawn, yeah. So nobody has come up with the ideas. A couple of slow ideas here, but nobody is seeing white's evil plan here to get rid of the bishop on d7. It is actually, this is the type of thing that you see in books where they try and explain to you how to get rid of pieces that are defending squares. You don't suck, David Saunders, but you're learning. As long as you're learning, then I'm happy. This is all about learning, okay? I'm so happy that you guys are learning here because I'm getting good suggestions. You guys are getting great ideas here. This is the position. Yeah, no. Interesting idea, David Saunders, but we don't have to be super complicated. We really don't. Nah, bishop takes c5. I mean, you just lose a piece. You don't actually get anything from this. This doesn't look that great. Yeah. You obviously can't move pawn g4 because your knight's in the way. Ooh, nobody's finding the answer. I'm quite happy that I showed this example because nobody is finding the answer. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys another minute to give suggestions of white trying to get rid of the bishop on d7. 1 minute and I will give you... Oh, Dre. Boom. And that's why he donates, because he the bomb, yo. Bishop d1. What a beautiful move. What a stunning move. Ha ha, because it's pinned as well. Your bishop is useless in the position, right? The bishop is not doing anything. Okay? So by playing bishop d1, your bishop is the one that goes and gets rid of his bishop. Fantastic move. Dre, bishop d1 is beautiful. Absolute stunning move for this specific position. Makes complete sense. Okay? You know, your objective is simple, right? And your bishop is in your camp doing absolutely nothing. So, great job. Great job. Very nice move there, Dre. Very nice move there. Bishop to g4 doesn't work much, Rand. I'll show it to you as well because he just takes it. He just takes your bishop. I mean, now he still has control over the square, right? I mean, you still don't have it. Okay. So bishop d1. Very, very good idea. Bishop d1. Excellent. Now check how this continues. It gets complicated now, okay? It gets very complicated. But white stays true to the principle that a knight on f5 here would look absolutely fantastic. Okay? Look at this knight on f5. Now, he plays b5 anyway. Okay, so now he plays b5. Okay, because of course now the bishop is not attacking a6 anymore. Okay, so he doesn't lose the a6 pawn anymore. Okay, obviously white en passant and rook takes. Now white continues on with the plan. Bishop a4. Now, of course, you know, you can't move your bishop because you're pinned, right? Otherwise, I just win the exchange. So the bishop cannot stay on the diagonal. Black plays this in between move first. Now things get a little murky. And it's very fun for me, this position, because white doesn't care. White stays focused on the objective, and the objective is simple. Get a knight to f5. That's it. The theory is a knight on f5 is going to win this position for him. Done. He doesn't think about anything else. This GM from Croatia playing beautiful game here, stunning understanding here, just showing you that you just continue attacking. Okay, rook takes pawn. So he takes it, gets rid of it. Boom, 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 gone. Takes pawn, and the queen goes to d1. Okay. Now the queen has aspirations of going to these squares as well, with the knight going here. You could have defended the pawn, Sven. Is it Sven? Steven, sorry. Steven, you could have defended the pawn, but there's no need because the a6 pawn is very weak anyway. Okay. Yeah, he's a GM from Croatia, yeah. Kozul. Zdenko. No, it's Zdenko Kozul. He's also about a 2600. He's very strong. I think he's from Croatia. I say that and I'm like, wait, calculations are being made in my head. I think he's from Croatia, yeah? Zdenko Kozul. He's a very interesting player. He can play such a beautiful game, but he can also play like such a poop head sometimes, you know? So, okay. So, queen just dropped back to d1 and now starts eyeing squares also. So, the queen now also helps the white squares here. Yeah, you know the person. Yes, exactly. So he takes back with a knight. Knight goes into f5. Queen goes to f6. And knight goes to e2. Okay. Are you Croatian as well, White Dancing? Are you also Croatian? Cool. Yeah, I also think that there is, of course, again, Flaming Dragoon, I do think that there was better moves for black. Yes, I agree. But there was also better moves for white as well. Okay. But again, it's not a computer playing. So again, you know, you guys love sitting there with your engine saying, oh, but this is stupid. Black could have just played that. Black could have just played that. Try finding those moves when you don't have a computer telling you all the answers. Okay. Exactly. The computer is never going to help you when you're playing an actual game against a GM. Computer's not going to be there. So, you know, again, a computer can find all these amazing freaking moves everywhere, right? But you try and find it as a human. I mean, even Magnus Carlsen doesn't do it. So, okay. So the knight goes to e2 here. Because now the knight wants to go and hop in on the square as well. So he can even go knight g3, take the bishop, and then replace the knight now. Because, of course, the white square bishop is gone. It's a fantastic position here. Okay, so it looks very entertaining here. Again, black could maybe find a defense here. I understand that. But that's not the point of the game. The point of the game is just to show you how white is focused on one specific thing. Okay? One specific thing. One weakness. Just that f5 square. Okay? And he focuses on it. Why? Because, of course, now the knight is also attacking d6. Okay. So, black plays, rook drops back and defends the pawn and that. So, queen a4 gets played. Okay. That defends his pawn and also attacks the knight. Okay. So, just keep up with the basics here as well. Okay. The queen goes back to d8. Now, what did I want to ask here? Oh, the knight wants to go back to f6 again. Okay, to attack e4. So that's why the queen moves. Okay? just so you understand why the queen moves here. Now, so queen d8. Okay. Mathcam! What's up, Mathcam? Hi, welcome to the show. Again, for those of you, if you're not following the channel yet, please do. If you're watching from Lead Chess, all you have to do is click on the text at the bottom of the video that says follow Chess Doctors on Twitch. You click on that and it'll take you to Twitch. If you don't have a Twitch account, create one quickly. It just takes an email and a password, and then you can follow the channel and many others. You know, Twitch is a great platform. You can watch all kinds of stuff on Twitch, including basketball, football. I mean, think about it and you can watch it on Twitch. Simple. Okay, so white plays, takes, king takes, and knight g3. So now this knight goes to f5. Okay, so he just replaces it. Okay, king goes to h7, knight still. Okay, he goes bishop here first, threatening the pin. Okay, now here I must admit this is probably where black, you know, went a little bit stupidity. He didn't prevent that from happening, and I don't know why. I thought he saw an idea. I think he saw an idea of holding the game together with the two knights, but unfortunately it still falls apart. So here black just blundered. Okay, so again, sometimes of course our opponent needs to make a mistake for us to win. Okay, but it doesn't take away the beauty of the idea of bishop d1 just to get the control over the f5 square. Okay, so unfortunately here he played knight e5. He thought he had a fork as well. I'll show you what happens. So after bishop here, he thought he could play. Thank you, Rayolis. Thanks for the follow, buddy. Goku is going nuts over there. So now we have the pin here. Little bit of an oops. Just a teensy wincy bit of an oops there. Okay. So he kind of made a mistake there. Now knight goes in here to attack the rook. Bishop takes, attacking the queen. Takes, and of course we just move the rook. Rook goes here. Let's go back. I'll look at it. So when though? That's the problem, because you must remember. When did you want to do this? Did you want to do it? Let's say no. When do we do that, Saeed? When do we do that, right? Like, okay, here maybe. Let's say here now, right? Maybe here? Is that possible? That may be what we're looking at? Is that what you were trying? But we can just replace it. Yeah, I should still decide what to do with that follow thing. Or I'll just make it a lot smaller as well. Now that I'm starting to get a lot more follows, Dre, I will probably make it smaller, yeah, and put it somewhere, you know, whatever. I'll change that for the next stream probably, you know what I mean? So agreed, Dre, agreed. We did it that way at the beginning, of course, because we weren't getting that many followers, but of course now we're starting to grow quite quickly, you know what I mean? Getting like an average of like 30 followers a day, you know what I mean? You get 1,000 a month, you know, you climb quite quickly. I'd like to get to at least 10,000 followers for the next year that's coming. Oh, HNNGGG, he's asking me why do we not play knight e7 to contest the knight. The problem is that I just play knight here, right? So I just replace it, right? So now I just defend it. And now you have issues. Now you got to worry about some stuff because of course your queen is in a very weird spot as well. So that's the reason, Syed TS. That is the reason. Okay. So you don't have time for it seems. Okay. It's okay, Rodrigo Fox. We'll leave it on there for now. Or okay, you know what I can do is I can make it. Okay, you know what? I can just change it. Hold on. Let me just. Oh crap! I didn't want to do that. Give me a second, and I will change it. Lead chess alerts. Make it smaller, and we'll put it over here. Transition. There you go. Should be fixed now. It will be fixed now. Okay. Now it will be, yeah, so now if somebody presses on follow, like you just saw, Rodrigo Fox, thank you. Now it is over there. No, wait, over there somewhere. It's over there on the other side of the board. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the actual position. Unfortunately, of course, after you lose the exchange here as black, the game is pretty much over. Okay, so we win the exchange now. Okay, now after knight here, he took rook takes and rook went here to trade off the last rook as well, and now the rook will become a superior piece here. So after queen goes here, this was the idea that black had, by the way, to try and be a little sneaky, you know, to attack f2. That's okay. Oh, it's actually, oh, it's on top, right? Yeah. No, you're right. Let me put it on top. Just give me a second. Thank you for pointing that out. There you go. Now it should be fine. Thank you, HNNGGG. Thank you so much for that, for pointing that out. You're completely right. I had to put it on top of the coaching ad thing. Yeah. Hi King Wiki. What's up, guys? Okay, so now the queen is attacking here. This was his plan here with the knights. You'll see what happens. Okay. So knight f5 obviously attacks and blocks. Okay. So the queen now cannot go there anymore. Me on Twitch, do me a big favor. For all of you guys, do me a huge favor. Okay? Do me a huge favor, right? Join the Discord channel, okay? And any games that you want us to do on stream, which we will be doing tomorrow or later this evening, right? Post the link to it in the Discord channel. Then I have the game, and then I will add it to our list of games that we will do. So this is for all of you. If you guys want to give us a game that you want us to do or look at for you on the stream, then join the Discord channel and just go post your games in there. Okay? I will even create a Discord sub channel in our Discord for viewer games. Okay, we'll call it something like viewer games, right? Okay? Then you guys can go and come and add, you know, your games, and we will literally just, as you post them, just type !Discord. That should give you the Discord channel. So just type !Discord and you should get the link to the Discord channel. Okay, because then you guys can add all the games that you want us to look at. You can just throw it there in Discord. I'll have it. I know where it is. I can add it to a study. And then on the show, we will go through your games. Easy as that. The only rule I have for if you want us to go through your games, okay, is that you have to be present. If you're not here, I will just skip your game. And if you come at a later time, then of course, I will go back to your game. Okay, very simple. Very, very simple. So yeah, so come and spam me. Hi, Hacker Car. What's up, man? So come and spam me with games that you guys would... Oh, has the link expired? God damn it. I hate it that happens. It keeps on doing that. Why? Does anybody know why the link expires for Discord? Does anybody know why it does that? Because it keeps on doing that. Why would it keep on doing that? I can't just, you know, every single time create a new Discord link. Why? Does anybody have any idea why the Discord link would expire, you know, change the whole time? Why does it do that? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mar. Oh, okay, Dark Zero. I will go have a look at that. Thank you, Dark Zero. I don't know much about Discord, of course, so I do apologize. But yeah, I will go and have a look at that because it keeps on changing and it pisses me off, right? It really pisses me off. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so Mar added a Discord one. Discord is cool. Me on Twitch. Discord is almost as cool as Twitch. Yeah, it's just a channel like Skype basically, but better where you can also do video chatting, you can do Skype calls, stuff like that as well. I will even start doing coaching as well, on Discord as well, where you can literally just join in on the call. So yeah, thanks Hacker Car. Okay, so the knight blocks it, right? Rook takes b1, and knight goes to h4. This is where things get a little bit tricky. Okay, because the point is that you can't take here now because of this check still. Okay, so we have to be a bit careful of what's going on here. Thank you so much, Mar. I will make it a permanent one, yeah. As soon as I'm finished here this morning, I will make it permanent. The sun is coming up, by the way. Hi, sun. So yeah, it is officially the new day. I'm going to be able to sleep like about 4 hours after this, and then I will have to stream again. Actually, yeah, I know Carlson, huh? Carlson on fire today, right? On absolute fire today. 9 out of 10 today. Beautiful. I'm giving my Facebook, my games are posted on that for this game now, please. Me on Twitch, you can also just send me a private message or whisper on Twitch. You're more than welcome to do that. Just send me a whisper on Twitch, or you can send me your game on the Chess Doctor's account on Lee Chess as well. Happy to do that too. Okay. Thank you, Rodrigo Fox. Thanks, guys. You guys are really helping me. Turkey farm. You're such a genius. So somebody pointed out Queen C2, David Saunders. Queen A6 does the same job. David Saunders does the same job. Just attacks the knight. Okay. So he decides to go for this variation where he just takes the pawn and attacks the knight as well. Cool, Dark Zero. Okay, so now the knight takes on f2. Look at how this gets complicated. Knight takes f2. Okay, so he sacrifices the knight now. Keeps on making this quite ugly. Okay, and the point is... Okay. No, Rodrigo, your English is perfectly good, man. Not a problem at all. Your English is... okay, brother. Okay. So now if you take it, he can take here, and you cannot take back because of the fork. Okay, so I'll show an example. Like there, takes, you cannot take it back thinking you're up a rook because he goes here and he forks your king and rook. Okay? And there you go, Polar Body. Thanks, Polar Body, for the follow there. Thanks, guys. You guys are really great. Yeah, you know what? I like the fact that the alert thing has changed to over there, right? So thanks for that, Dre. You have been really, really awesome today. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the donation, and obviously for the advice as well. You guys have been awesome. Okay. So, but now we just play queen takes d6, right? There's no more threats because your queen's hanging, and now the trading doesn't really work. And of course, this pawn is a runner. There's no way to stop this pawn. You can stop it, but eventually you just lose the endgame because of these really terrible pawns. So king here, rook here, okay? King here, rook takes, king here, and rook attacks the pawn. King goes here, and he just takes the pawn. Because now the problem is if you play here, I take this pawn, your knight's pinned, I sack, and I win because I have 2 versus 1 majority. I'll show you a real quick example of this. Very easy. Okay, here in this variation, even play here. Let's say here, take, and king just comes up the board. I have to be a little bit careful, of course, as well, just to avoid that, right? So I play here, h4. And now, of course, if you play f5, I just pass. And then my king just sits in front of your pawn, and eventually you're going to lose it, and blah, game over. So an example, just an example, there we go, here, takes, and we have the pawn. Okay? So the 2 versus 1 majority pawn endgame is very, very simple for white to win. Okay. We focus just on making sure that our g pawn is the one wins, remember? Because the h pawn is crap. So that is the idea. If black tries something else, black played knight here. The rook goes to d4, protecting the pawn again. Good job, David. Good job. Sack the pawn, right? Like, give up the pawn. Exactly. Give up the crappy h pawn or a pawn and win with a pawn that we know can win. Okay? Now the knight goes to f6, and let's just say we bring in our king. Because again, if the knight goes after the pawn, okay, then we can just play king f3. If the knight takes, we can play king g4. And now he moves, we can just take it. And we have the same idea. Endgame is still fairly easily winning. Take this pawn, get the king here, you know, shovel this pawn down here. Use it as a decoy while we win this pawn, and then win with this pawn. That's the easy way of winning it if you want to win the endgame with the knight and 2 pawns versus rook and 2 pawns. So yes, I hope that was a interesting lesson. A little bit complicated, like I say, it's not an easy lesson. This was for your, like, more basically for your 1800 type of players, really. You know, 1800 to 2200, where we have this great little maneuvering game going on where we want to get rid of the bishop on d7 in the game. We get back there just so we can take over the f5 square. And you see how pivotal the f5 square was as soon as we did get rid of that bishop. So this is where the tricky tricks started, right? So we wanted to get a knight to f5, but the bishop kept on stopping us. So bishop d1 gets played to get rid of the bishop on d7. It's a very, very, very pretty game for me. I just saw it randomly and I thought, you know what? I can do a nice little lesson about that. Now, these middle game lessons, I'm going to teach different things, you know, about, you know, different aspects of middle games as we go on, right? But I will also elaborate on things again. So I will come back, okay, to weak squares again. CMDR Gloopy, thanks for the follow, CMDR. And again, if you just joined the show now and you missed the whole lesson, you can just go to the videos in Twitch and watch it again, okay? So I will make these videos available for you guys to watch again if you want to. Mar598, I wouldn't say he was on the front foot, but he just stayed focused on one thing, thank you, Harry Crush. You know what? Yeah, if he didn't blunder the pin, Dre, maybe it's still okay. I do agree with you as well. Harry Crush, thank you so much for saying that, because I agree completely. Okay? The point of the channel for us is to be more educational. Okay? We want to teach you guys more. We want to actually give you guys knowledge. Instead of some guy listening to boom, 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 boom music, playing Bullet, not saying anything, laughing and drinking beer, you know, okay, it's entertaining in some way or form, but you're not learning anything. You can't learn from that. And we want to be different. We want to be the kind of stream that teaches you stuff, okay? We want you guys to improve your chess, and we want it to be free. Of course, if you guys donate, you guys subscribe, you guys, you know, support us in these ways, fantastic, okay? Again, donations are awesome, but of course, it's not a requirement. This is not why we do it. Okay, we do it eventually, hopefully, for more donations. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to badmouth the chess bros, okay? I don't want to badmouth them. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they could do so much better. I think they could do so much better. And Casey, yeah, Casey is even worse. I don't like Casey at all. You know, he's at least kind of like funny, at least from a point of view of where he rages and stuff, you know, so that's at least okay. But again, you know, it's not educational. What is Ethereum? What is that, Harry Kush? I will add more options for donations if cryptocurrency is something that you guys think I should add as well. I can do that. Oh, Dre, really? Come on, dude. Like, you're going to start making me feel bad, buddy. Thank you, Dre. Thank you so much. He's going to give me all his money. Yeah, of course. What Laporte? Yeah, sure. They're already GM, right? But it's not about them. It's not about me as the streamer. It's about the viewers. Okay? Okay, so it's a cryptocurrency. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll definitely I'll look into it, Mar and Harry Kush. I'll definitely look into it. Yeah, like Bitcoin. Yeah, I'll look into it. Okay. Again, it's not about the streamer. It's about how I can help you guys improve your chess. Yeah, exactly, Dre. Thank you so much. Hopefully that was worth the lessons. Yeah, his proper videos, right? I'm not talking about his streaming, his actual videos, yeah? His YouTube videos. Exactly. His YouTube videos I can understand is very good, yeah. And that's why he's so popular. So even when he's on Twitch, you know what I mean? Like, he's not doing the YouTube video thing. You know, like I'm doing right now, right? It's a YouTube video, basically. He's not doing that. But of course, he's still very popular. Again, thank you so much, Dre. Okay, so